Hi, welcome to Gemini Star Spiritual Wellness. Thank you for joining me today. I'm excited that you're here with me for this video. So in today's video, we're going to be looking at the week of February 1st through 7th, 2026 for all the air signs. So that would be Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. So let's see what's going on for all us air signs for this upcoming week. And we'll see, what the energy is going to be for this week. As always, please hit that like button to help it shoot out to other air signs that need to see it. Because when you hit that like button, it helps send the video out to more people on YouTube. So helps the channel to grow as well. So please hit that like button, and also please hit subscribe if you haven't already. And I do want to thank all my subscribers. Thank you for joining the channel and supporting the channel. And as always, take what resonates and leave behind what doesn't, because it might resonate with you, it might not, because a lot of air signs will be watching this. So let's see what's going on for all the air signs for the week of February 1st through 7th. I feel like January just flew by, and I remember talking at my work to my coworkers and being like, yeah, I just have a feeling like before you know it's going to be February. And here it is. I was like, wow, it just kind of flew by. So, what is the energy for air signs for the week of February 1st through 7th, 2026? Hmm. Okay. I don't know. I'm thinking maybe there might be stuff going on behind the scenes we don't know about air signs. From what I saw like a door with light behind it. So let's see. All right. So we got Queen of Pentacles, Queen of Swords, King of Wands, a lot of court cards here. The Hierophant, okay. King of Cups, the Emperor, okay, and the Five of Wands. Hmm. Okay, interesting. I definitely feel like this is a love situation. But when I was shuffling, I saw like a door with like a door, and it had like on the sides of the door there was like light coming through it, and I definitely sense that there's like stuff going on behind the scenes that we don't know about. So it's like things were going on behind that door that we don't know about. So that's kind of interesting. But so we've got a lot of court cards in here for this week. So coming into the week, I feel like we're dealing with a King of Wands in the past. And it can be, it doesn't have to be a masculine, it can be a feminine, it could be, a woman as well. It's just the energy, they're in that energy of King of Wands. And you've been dealing with them in the past. And I feel like it hasn't been it's like it wasn't like a good situation. And that's somebody, that you've dealt with in the past. And so in the current energy, we're in this Queen of Pentacles energy. So we've kind of like whatever happened here with this King of Wands, we've kind of left it in the past, and we've been focused on ourselves and building up our pentacles and taking care of ourselves. So, we're holding our little pentacle there on our lap, but we're doing pretty good for ourselves. Like we're in an abundant place. We're in a good place. We have these Queen of Pentacle attributes going on right now. So right now we're in a good place, for ourselves, taking care of ourselves. And we're being independent, taking care of ourselves. So the situation with this King of Wands pushed us to be in this Queen of Swords type energy. So I have a feeling that this person was like maybe overstepping your boundaries. They weren't treating you like they're a king, so they might have been mature, but they might not have been emotionally mature, is what I'm hearing. So it's kind of like they might be an older person, but they were like, not respecting your boundaries. They were very kind of like rigid in their thinking. It was like they had the negative attributes of a King of Wands. So it's like maybe they weren't they just weren't on the same page as you. They were kind of like closed-minded about things. but they really kind of pushed your buttons because that put us in this Queen of Swords energy. So it's like the situation with them, we became the Queen of Swords. So we were kind of like not putting, we got tired of putting up with BS and chaos and drama. We just kind of cut it out. And I feel like this goes a lot to how they treated us. Like we didn't like the way that they treated us. You know, you didn't like the way, because they weren't all, you know, they weren't a very nice person at times. They could be kind of like mean, you know, and they could be kind of selfish. And like I said, I keep hearing emotionally immature, and I'm seeing like a little kid, like the maturity of a child emotionally, you know, it's like they never really grew up. And it's like they never dealt with their issues, because like I keep feeling this is an older person, like middle-aged or older, but it's like they never went to therapy. They never dealt with issues. And so they, you know, and so over time, it's like they never really grew up emotionally, if that makes sense. But that put us in this Queen of Swords energy and defensive. See how she's got that sword in front of her? It's like she's tired of putting up with stuff. She's kind of cold and blunt and to the point, and she's being defensive. So the way this King of Wands treated us kind of put us in this, during this, in the situation we were involved with them, put us in this kind of defensive mode energy, right? But we, you know, but originally, I mean, we're really in this Queen of Pentacles, but that type of energy when we were around put us in that Queen of Swords. Now, the atmosphere is, this is what we want. We're looking for a committed, loving relationship, you know, something like maybe marriage or, you know, but committed long-term type relationship. And it could very well be marriage, could very well be that. That's what you want. That's what, you know, type of relationship you're looking for. But it definitely wasn't going to happen with this King of Wands. It's like you weren't going to get that with that King of Wands, because they were too like emotionally immature to give you the type of committed relationship that you wanted. So you kind of left it behind is what I'm feeling. Um I feel like there was a, you know, a good bit of contention with this person, this King of Wands. There was a lot of contention there. And I keep feeling, I'm hearing rigid, like they were really rigid in their thinking. Like they weren't open to like your opinions or other people's opinions or new ideas. They felt like they knew everything. They were the smartest person in the room. They had kind of they had a big ego, and it caused a lot of contention. It's like, and they could have a contentious nature, because you know some people, they just like to fight. I don't know if you've ever noticed that, but there's some people, it's like they just have this contentious nature, and they just like, they're always ready for a fight, and you can feel it in their energy. You know, it's like they're always ready to lash out and get into a fight. I've met many people like that throughout my life, and it has to be exhausting to be that way, but there are people that are like that. And so you realize that, you know, you want this committed long-term relationship or marriage, right? But it's not happening with that King of Wands. Like you really kind of figured that out. Like, yeah, this isn't going to work out. So what you're looking for, this is what you want, is an emperor. You know, you want somebody who's going to be mature and healed and emotionally mature, you know, they're going to be available emotionally. They're going to be ready for this type of relationship, because the emperor is ready for marriage. He's ready for like a long-term commitment. You know, he's not emotionally immature. He's got his stuff together. He's done his healing. You know, he's worked on himself. Like he's mature and wise, intelligent, but he's like, you know, he's in a good place for himself. And that's what you're looking for. You're looking for somebody with that type of energy. And I feel like in the near future, well, before I get into that, let me show you air signs. This is the current energy for this week, the 1st through the 7th of February. Okay. So that's kind of all happening now. You know, and I feel like this relationship with this King of Wands is over. You know, like it's done. I feel like you've left that person in the past, because you know that there just was no future with that person. Not the type of future you wanted, not what you were looking for. And like I said, you know, when you were with that person, you were in this Queen of Swords energy. But that's not who you are now. It's like now you're in the Queen of Pentacles. You softened up since you got out of that situation. And, like you got tired of the contention. That's not what you want. But in the near future, a King of Cups is going to come in for us. And this is a person who's going to be much more mature, like they're going to be ready for a relationship. They're going to be, they'll be able to talk about their feelings. They're not going to have like all this emotional baggage from decades that they are bringing in. It's like they're going to be ready for love, and they're going to be in a much healthier place. Like they're going to be emotionally available. And it's the same person. I'm hearing that whoever this person coming in as King of Cups, that's like they're your emperor. Now they might not be an emperor yet when they come to you, but they're going to morph into that. They're going to transform into that emperor, but it's the same person. They're coming into maybe as a King of Cups when you first meet them, but if you start dating them or you have a friendship with them, they're going to turn into the emperor. Like during your time of knowing them, they're going to turn into the emperor. So it's the same person. So what you're looking for is coming in, is what I'm getting. It's this, and this person is going to be ready for a long-term relationship. That they're going to want it like you want it. They're going to be on the same page you are about it. That's what they're looking for. And that's what you're looking for. So you're going to be in alignment. And that's the key thing I'm hearing you're telling me is alignment. Like you're going to be much more energetically in alignment with this person than you were with the King of Wands. Because with the King of Wands, you weren't in alignment with them. And you could feel it. That's why you walked away and ended the relationship. And you walked in, and you left that in the past. But this King of Cups, this Emperor, you're going to be in alignment with them. You're going to be in a much better place with them as far as your energy. And this, you're not going to have the contention and stuff that you had with the King of Wands. So what you want is coming in. And they're going to want what you want. So you're going to be in alignment with them. And they're going to want a committed relationship like you do. You guys are going to be on the same page that way. So this person's coming in the near future. So they haven't shown up yet, but they're on their way. So that's what I have for us, air signs, for this week of, the 1st through the 7th of 2020 or February 2026. So just keep an eye out because this person's coming in. In the near future. Now, I don't know when that will be. It could be like, maybe March or April. It might not be built till spring or summer, but this person's coming in. So in the meantime, just focus on yourself. Just stay in that Queen of Pentacles energy and take care of yourself. So that's what I have for us for this week. I hope you enjoyed the reading. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.